offensive line play. This year's team, you were in Greenville for the East Carolina game. What's going on with the offensive line? I think I
got to text you this. So, in the East Carolina game, they were stacking 7 to 8 guys in the box and basically just saying throw it.
Right.
So I think that's why you saw the run game. The first half just looked terrible. Obviously, the fourth quarter, we got it figured out, and we were like, hey, well, we're faster than them. Let's start hitting these outside zones on them. And it worked. But, I mean, the offensive line play, I mean, it's not all on the offensive line, but, I mean, there's been some missed assignments, and they just hadn't quite gelled together as good as you would like, especially with the guys with that many starts.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And how surprising is that when you got 4 or 5 guys coming back from a line that did what they did last year and over 80 career starts? I think that's what's the most surprising
I think
part.
one thing you got to look at, it's a new system.
Right,
okay.
Right. Definitely.
So you got to take that into account. You have a new left tackle. Okay, that's left tackle is probably the second most important position on the offensive line, other than center, and so you got to take that into account. But I mean, like I said, the ECU game, they were stacking the box on us, so it's kind of hard to block guys when you're outnumbered. So I know a lot of people don't really see that, but it was happening the entire game and daring us to throw it. And obviously, we weren't able to throw it. I'm giving them the benefit of a doubt, though. I think with a team like Eastern Illinois, we should have just road graded them, no problem, and we didn't.
Right.
So that was a little bit disappointing. But like I said, O-line looked good in the fourth quarter last week, so hopefully we can carry that forward. But, yeah, I mean, you can't put it all on the O-line, but O-line's got to step up, especially this week.
Yeah, I think, too, one of the things, especially in week 1, John, is I think the expectations for the run game also were just so high.
Yeah,
and
I mean, you look at what we did last year.
Right.
And it's 1,000-yard back in 10 games, all SEC play. I mean,
yeah, and it's like you mentioned, too, though. I mean, I talked about it all preseason. Like, hey, if I was a defensive coordinator, I'm going to stack the box also until South kind of proves they can throw it consistently enough to make me be honest in the passing game.
I think you might see some of that this week.
Yeah.
Because Georgia's got a lot better DBs than ECU's got. So if Georgia feels like they can lock up man-to-man, they're going to just stack the box and say, until y'all start hitting some passes on us, we're just going to dare you to pass on us.
Yeah. And Jesse Jacobs makes a point, by the way. You mentioned about like a new scheme and a new system, and you've heard some of the coaches say that the O-line issues are just miscommunications with the quarterback and shifts. And so that goes back to like what you were saying with it just being new system, new scheme, new verbiage. It's just the adjustment to that.
Yeah. But still, that's no excuse. You still got to pick it up, learn it, play better. But that is definitely a contributor to what's going on.
Yeah, and I would say I still do feel encouraged about the offensive line just because, like we said, I mean, you do have 4 or 5 guys on that line that did what they did last year. Like, you can't forget about how good they were a year ago. And again, you've got depth. I think you really have. I mean, it sounds like from what Adkins and Satterfield have said, they've got 7, 8 guys they really, really like.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they've got enough to be successful. And I still feel like the running game is going to come around. But you're right. You need a passing game to complement it. It's just, you can't throw it. There's not much you can do in a run game. There's not much an offensive line can do also.